Good night, everyone, and welcome back to another DTools Cloud After Dark webinar. Thank you for being DTools customers, tuning in and giving us so much helpful feedback. Like always, I'm going to breeze through a PowerPoint of our agenda before we dive in, and at the end of our presentation, we'll do a live Q&A to talk more about the software and how we can help. If you're a new user, welcome to the DTools Cloud team. I'm Leanne. I also go by LB, and I'm a customer success manager here at DTools. I'll be hosting this evening. Andre and Tiffany are also customer success managers, and we're here to help train you guys, coach you on best practices, and pass your feedback on to our product and development team. Megan and Veronica are your DTools Cloud account managers, and they're here to help guide you as you onboard and maximize your use of the software by adding training hours and services to help you guys to scale your businesses. We are keeping up with the catalog tonight, and our first stop will be our catalog settings. We'll walk you through setting brand price rules up and how to select default suppliers. We also have category rules, so I'll show you how to set labor types for specific categories, a feature I love. We'll cover product discounts to get the ball rolling with more of our slippery clients, and how to create adjustments and auto apply them for quotes so that we don't have to remember to add those in. And one of the greatest features about DTools Cloud is the ability to connect to your suppliers and pull in your specific dealer costs. So we're going to review where to find all available suppliers and how to get connected, and also where to find more information about the data provided, like real-time pricing, when the last updated pricing was, and so on. And of course, we've got to go deep into the catalog to talk about allowances, one of my favorite features. I always say, when in doubt, use an allowance to quickly get a proposal out the door. Packages are a great way to group your products and labor to quickly add them to quotes and create a more repeatable process. And then we'll also talk about alternates, giving your clients more options to upgrade themselves and save you guys some time when it comes to revisions and the back and forth, right? So a win-win. And as always, I'll be sprinkling in some of my favorite tips and tricks, and we've also added some new features to our service plans. So look out for favorites, our product resources, and our import feature. All right, well, let's head over to our settings. All right, I'm going to find the catalog tab, and we're already here on brands. So here's a list of all the brands that I currently use, but I'm going to search for URC. All right, I'm going to find this ellipsis and let's edit. And let's turn my price rule on. All right, so a price rule is another way to set your cost and price on products based on the calculations that you define here, right? So right now my price is 100% of my MSRP, and I could always mark this up if I wanted it to be 10% more, right? I'm gonna hit save. And because I already have 4 products in my catalog, I do want to apply this brand price rule to those products. Right, so I'm going to hit apply to all products now. And I'm not going to mess with my cost because I'm already connected to ADI, which is my default supplier here, right? So we'll leave that alone. But if you ever need to update your default supplier for a specific brand, that's right here. And once you select a different supplier, if you want to update your existing products in your catalog, don't forget to use this advanced tab here to apply to all other products. All right, so the next time that I pull in any URC product, my unit price is going to be 10% more than my MSRP provided. All right, let's take a look at categories next. Okay, so if you're using our itemized labor option, which means you're tying labor to your equipment, you can set up rules to help you set labor and accessories for products at a category level. right? So once these rules are set, the labor and accessories are added to your quotes when you add the products tied to these categories. And you can even fine tune labor and accessories on subcategories here as well. So for example, under my display devices on all of my outdoor TVs, I want to make sure there's an hour of installation, and let's just add maybe 15 minutes of programming. Something like this, and let's add that in. All right, so both labor types are going to be tied to all of my outdoor TVs. So if I pull on a SunBright TV, I'll see both. Okay, next up, discounts. Right, I already have a friends and family discount here, but let's create one together. Let's create an end of the month discount to give my sales team some assistance to close out the month. Right? Instead of using a single value, I'm going to give them a range um, and allow them to use their judgment. I don't want them to get too crazy, but they can choose between 5 and 15%. All right. So now while quoting, after adding a product and looking at the product detail bar, they can select this discount right under the unit price. And remember, these discounts are applied at the product level and not on the entire proposal, which will bring us to adjustments. Okay, I already have some here. So adjustments are discounts and upcharges that you can add to your product and labor totals on the entire quote, right? So I have a miscellaneous materials adjustment here, and I actually want to auto apply this, and I want to apply it to my product total, right? Because it's materials. But let's create one together. Let's create a design E adjustment at $250. So I'm going to use my dollar amount here. All right, and it's not taxable because I'm going to apply this to my labor total. All right, I'm going to hover over this, find my more menu or option, and let's auto apply. And again, I'm going to apply this to my labor total. Right, so if you want a visual quote, you got to pay a little extra. Okay, and these adjustments won't show up in your bill of materials, but in the summary on the proposal. And before we leave our settings, I want to call out a change that went out in our last release. So on the opportunity tab here, if you guys created any custom project types, we've moved them to our quote templates section, right? So this is a new area. And these are not proposal templates, but a way to set some standards for your quotes, right? So it still works the same way. So as an example, on my residential opportunities or my residential quotes, I want to make sure that my 50/50 payment term is selected, and I want to make sure that my residential default proposal template is populated, so I don't have to go in and change between my other templates. And you guys can also add items here from your catalog and labor. All right, so let's exit our settings. And let me just quickly show you on the opportunities tab, when creating a new opportunity, now you can select a quote template. right? So get your salespeople set up. All right, but back to the catalog. We are going to find the Manage Pricing button up in the top right corner. All right, so we have two tabs here. The My Pricing tab shows me the partners and brands that I'm connected to. And then the Available Pricing tab gives me the full list of our DTools partners. So super easy to get connected. Just request access here. Read your pricing disclaimer. Accept pricing. Pop in your login and your password and get connected to pull in your specific dealer costs. And some just require an account number. All right, let's head back to My Pricing. All right, you can see when pricing is scheduled to change here in green, whether it's monthly, bi-weekly, etc. And the product updates are here in blue. All right, so really nice to see that. And I'm actually going to take a deeper dive into ADI here. So I'm going to hover and find this ellipsis, and let's go ahead and edit this. So here I can see that I can see everything that ADI provides, right? My units of measure, real-time pricing, tiered pricing types, and my MSRP. Up at the top, I can see all of the brands available through ADI. Right, you can search here as well. And then on the settings tab, right, we can take a look at our account numbers, more brands listed here. But at the very bottom, you can also find your contacts and add your contacts. Right, so this is neat because you'll be able to find these contacts when sharing purchase orders through DTools Cloud. So add Bill at adiglobal.com and then share your POs with him. All right, so providing some good data here. All right, so let's head to the DTools library. Right, so the nice thing about DTools Cloud is the fact that you don't really have to start building your catalog before you start quoting. So as you add items to your quote, you're simultaneously building out your catalog. But if you want to get a head start or just set some things up for your team, you can certainly start to add items to your product list from here. All right, so I can just search for, let's pop in some Ring doorbells. All right, and just going to start adding a few here. I'll add this one. I can see that it's now been added to my catalog. All right, we'll give some options. And feel free to filter by category, search by brand. All right, here under the products tab, you'll find any products that you previously quoted in an opportunity, added DTools library, or imported. All right, so if you're looking for products that you can't find in the DTools library, always let us know, but most importantly, reach out to your contacts to help us get them in there too. But in the meantime, you can find this import button up in the top right. Import products. You can also export your data. All right. Get your price sheets for those brands and make sure they're in a CSV or an Excel format. We also have a sample file here for you guys to reference too. And then just make sure that you have the brand, model, unit cost, unit price, and MSRP fields available. It's super easy to do. We'll map to anything existing in our DTools library and then pull those products into your catalog to avoid any double data entry. And then, of course, add those new products. And if anyone's interested in this, feel free to just reach out to us and we can certainly walk you through this. All right, but back to my products. You can see that I have some favorites here. Right, so favorites are an easier way to sift through products when quoting. Again, you can tell by the little green stars. And I can also filter by my favorites only. All right, and once you have your favorites set up, when searching for those products, you'll see a third tab by the catalog and DTools library. And you guys will see that when I'm searching for a product in the search bar. Right, but let's take a look at an actual item. I'm gonna pick on this remote here. And let's go ahead and edit this. All right, so here we are in our overview. I can edit my short and long descriptions here, adjust my cell unit. This is mainly for like speakers. I can review my pricing here, right? My unit cost is coming over from ADI, and then my price rule is already set. Right? And you can even create brand price rules from this view. But let's check out my product resources, right? So here we have some resources. There's a toggle that you can turn on when editing your proposals that allows your clients to view data sheets, manuals, or other available resources when they click on a product. So let's take a look at what DTools is giving us here. Just gonna open this up. And just giving us some more specs on this remote. It's really nice when they provide a manual. All right, and again, that's a setting in your proposal templates. All right, we scroll up some more. You can also find specs here, barcodes. We're gearing up for inventory, guys, and you can enable coverage. All right, you can set up your accessories and create alternate sets. And let's actually do one together, right? So I want to give my client some options whenever I pull this remote in. I'm just going to name this USRC remotes. My category is here. I can pop in the description if I want, but I'm going to go ahead and search for another option here. And then here's that favorites tab, right? But let me look in my catalog and let's pop in, we can add this one. All right, we have some labels here. I like to use them for good, better, and best. If you're using TVs, you can use them for different sizes of the TVs, right? A 75-inch, a 65-inch, different colors for cameras. Add some cheeky descriptions here to kind of, just spice up your proposal, make it a little bit sexier. And remember to check these toggles, right? If you want to keep your accessories or keep your labor, we're going to leave that on. All right, actually, why not? Put good and better. Yeah. And let's create our alternate set. All right, and we'll find that under the alternate sets tab later. Okay, next up, allowances. I love allowances because of how flexible they are. For example, let's take a look at my camera allowance here. Right? Let's say my client knows that they want cameras placed all over their home, but they haven't settled on a brand yet. You can create really generic products, right? Name it, pop in an image, and then just give them a budget for the price, right? And then revisit the brand at a later time. You can also use allowances to calculate totals based on the square footage of a location. So here I have a lighting control allowance. Let's go ahead and look at that. And I've edited my calculated price, right? Let's take a deeper look. So in this instance, I'm calculating my price by area instead of a percent or a fixed price. And my price is $16 per foot. So when you create your opportunity, there's a field to add the square footage on the entire location. So once I add this allowance to my quote as a line item, right, I'll just search for it in my quote, just type in lighting control. It'll do the math by the square footage against that number. Allowances are also very similar to adjustments, and you can calculate pricing based off of your product and labor totals, right? So for example, I have another miscellaneous materials allowance here, right? And right now I'm taking 10% of my product total. But remember, this is an actual line item in your bill of materials where adjustments only show up in your summary. And you can also create labor allowances, right? So when you add an allowance, you can choose between products and labor. And I actually have one here. Take a look at this. So if you're not really interested in tracking actual time and you just want to add a dollar amount to the labor in your summary, just label it and pop in your pricing. All right, but because there's actually no time tied to it, things can get a little complicated if you do decide to use our time tracking features in project management, right? When you're scheduling those tasks for your installers. But again, if you just want to get a dollar amount out there, feel free to use a labor allowance. Right, so again, there's just so much that you can do with an allowance. If you're ever stuck and just need to get a quote out the door, use an allowance. All right, let's take a look at our packages. Packages are great for creating cookie cutter solutions. And also, you guys are the experts, so tell them what they need, right? I'm going to come into this package here. Okay, name it, give it a description, and then start to search for your items here. You guys can also create packages in a quote. That's my favorite place to create them because I like to look at each product. You can't really break it out here. But let's go ahead and search for an item here. I'm actually missing amount. So let's add that in. Let's pop this one in. All right. And I can choose if I want to have my pricing calculated by my items or give it a fixed price. Right, so if I did want to give it a fixed price, I don't really want to change the pricing of my items, but we can mark this up a little bit. So we're originally at 11,932. I'm just going to call it 12 grand. All right. And you can even create alternate sets for packages, right? Giving your clients good, better, and best bundles, like full-on solutions to choose from, which is super powerful. Let's do it. It's actually just, we'll call this TV. Actually, let's just packages. All right, and I'm going to search for my standard here. add that in. All right, so I'm going to recommend my premium outdoor TV package, but we'll give them the option to downgrade. All right. I also have a labor package here for professional services. Here, I'm just stacking different labor types. I might have different rates for different technicians, or maybe I do want to show labor and my bill of materials and prefer to bundle it all up for the client, but have it broken down internally for my team. Right? There's lots of different ways that you can configure labor in cloud. And I'll just add some project management here. All right, so we're just stacking labor types. All right, and then under alternate sets, I can see my alternate sets have been saved here. All right, here are my ERC remotes. And I can just pull this into a quote, right? The next time I add this remote, it's going to automatically add the second option. And of course, you can remove it as well. And then here are my TV packages. And I'm actually going to make these, I'm going to favorite these, use those again. All right, and then service plans. So if you haven't noticed already, we've moved our service plans from settings and into the catalog. Let's take a look at my gold plan. All right, create your service plans, guys. Name them, pop in a description, give them a price, and get them on these contracts. But let's take a look at our plan features here. I'm going to click this green text, and I'm going to get some options to my right. So let's scroll. We've added system monitoring and remote support in our last release. So let's actually add that. I'm going to add some system monitoring here. You're going to pop in your terms and pricing. And yes, we're working on ways for you to offer your clients entire monitoring agreements. That's coming soon, right? So for the sake of time, let's use an example. Thank you, D-Tools. We'll use this one. So to monitor their devices, let's charge them like $25 a month. And of course, you can go by the year. And I'm going to go ahead and add this to my service plan. And there it is. Let's also add some remote support. All right. You can specify the number and length of these sessions and then the rate for any additional ones, right? And tracking these calls and billing is coming later as a separate feature. Let's use another example again. We'll use this one. All right, so we'll include 5 sessions a month. Maximum included session length. We'll pop in an hour. And yes, let's offer some additional supports. And we'll do $30 an hour. And we'll add that to our service plan. All right, so we're starting to build out our plan features. And if you ever want to look at the preview, you can find this icon up here, right, to see the plan features listed out. All right, guys. Well, that is a wrap on keeping up with the catalog. We can open it up for Q&A. It doesn't have to be specifically about the catalog, but let's go ahead and get into it.
Awesome. Thank you, Leanne.
Of course.
All right, let's get started. Andrew.
Hey, I have an adjustment question.
Mhm.
So I love how the adjustments all show up in one line item at the bottom of the quote. But the problem I have with them is they don't have a cost to them and they screw up the margin.
Mm.
So what I've been doing is I had to create a whole bunch of allowances to
Mhm.
do cost and, markup so it keeps the margin the same. And then I have to find this fancy way of either hiding it or sticking it somewhere. And if you've got multiple rooms, all of a sudden you got one room at the bottom that's like this random adjustment. So
Got you.
it's a little
So,
weird.
so the ability to maybe hide allowances. I know you can hide the labor allowances, but the products, yeah, I know you can't really do it that way.
Yeah, well, more on the adjustment side. Like, I have no problem showing the adjustment at the bottom. It's just when you use an adjustment, it doesn't have a margin. There's no cost to it.
Cost. Got it.
So it
Okay.
just it goes in at a 100% margin, and you know if you're doing that with travel and all this other stuff, it kind
Got
of
it.
throws off your margin blend.
Got it. And I think that might be coming. We're working on some job costing, so maybe that will be a part of it. But
That would be
noted.
fantastic.
Noted.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. Julio.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So you mentioned in the allowance that you could do it by area. Now, the only place I know where you can edit the area of a project is like the opportunity itself, the entire area. Can you edit areas per locations? So, for example, say you're doing a house and there's a room that's a home theater, and you want the acoustic treatment per square meters or per square foot for that location only. Would that be a possibility?
Not today, but that's a really good feature request.
Okay, great.
We'll write that up. Yeah, not today. Yeah, today it's only at the opportunity level
Right,
here.
right.
But that would be really nice. Square footage by
Yeah,
location.
because maybe you need, an allowance for per square footage for only one location within the opportunity instead of doing several opportunities. All right, thank you.
No problem. Add it to the list.
Thank you. All right, Kurt.
Good evening. Just had a
Hello.
question in regard. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Just had a question in regards to like alternate sets and options. The good, better, best. We either a percentage of parts down or all parts down. When we start throwing in alternate sets at people and our clients, it tends to screw up that number because that number stays static. And then, final payment number adjusts up or down from there. Is there a way that we can, or is it just something I'm missing that will adjust that first number on our payment terms?
So you have different prices for different parts, and it's not adjusting your summary, like your payment terms.
Right. If we go to like payment terms and we don't do a percentage, we go, let's say, let for easy figures, all parts, parts down.
Oh,
You know,
gosh.
100% parts down. That number is going to change with the packages they chose. And it's, you know, when they change the packages, it's not changing in the, because it's a static, we have to enter the static number. We just can't choose all parts.
Okay. Let me play with that, Kurt, and get back
Yeah,
to you.
that might be a good feature, LB. I understand what you mean. It's a we don't know because you're putting in a fixed dollar amount that the product price has changed up or down. So maybe a feature request where we just use all product as like an initial deposit. And then that way, if they choose, then that number changes based on what they selected. But I think that would have to be a feature request versus what we have today.
Yeah,
but
I
it's a
think
good
there
one.
was, I think I put something out there probably 6-7 months ago on that already. I'll check it over again just to make sure.
There could have been a little bit of confusion. Your explanation really helped out a lot. So
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
So right now, is there just a balance left over if they do make a change, or just nothing really happens?
It varies. I mean, if it's a large amount and not much labor, or vice versa, I mean, it can be, you know, and if it's 3 or 4 different ones and they go, okay, we want to go premium on everything, it ends up almost showing them that upon project completion, we owe them money versus, you know, they owe us money.
Okay, got it. Yeah, we'll run that one to the.
And I understand, yeah, the static number is kind of hard to do, but I would think that they should be able to pull product price numbers pretty quick from the product.
There should be an
proposal.
option to select that only. Yeah, or a combination of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you.
Okay.
Thank you. Good catch. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it, Kurt.
No problem. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Kurt. Any other questions? Again, they don't have to be about anything we covered tonight. We also have Dave on the call, who is a member of our data team. So if you have any data related questions, tonight would be a really good opportunity for you to ask those as well. So please feel free. Looks like you've raised your hand again. Let me get, let's see, I had a couple of hands raised and then they went down. So I'm not sure. Okay, let's go. Jonas. You may need to unmute on your end, Jonas. We're not hearing you if you're talking.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, great. Thanks. Yeah, something you had in the sales results feature there you had for a while, and then it disappeared, was you could see the labor that you sold in the results previously. This was taken away a long time ago, but it was kind of nice to be able to see the different types of labor you were selling. It was like a leading indicator to know how much installation, project management, and engineering labor we were selling. And then it kind of disappeared from this screen at some point in time in the past.
Yeah, I think it did say there was something that said labor type up here.
Yeah, now that you have these different options, you know, you have your total, which is great to see the sales total, you know, who's on the sales leaderboard and where your referrals are coming from. But now that you have product, labor, and service is great that now you could see what you're selling in terms of your service calls. But it would be nice if you click on labor, you would see the different labor phases that you're selling that relate to the numbers above. And the same thing with product too. If you have your product categories to kind of see, you know, where most of the sales are coming from.
Okay. Yeah, maybe It might just be an oversight. Well, let me see if we can just add that back because I do remember the labor types being here at some point. Okay, thank you for calling that out.
Yeah, no problem.
On it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jonas.
Sure.
All right, Ty.
Our friend
Good
Ty.
Hello.
Yeah.
Y'all waiting on me, I know.
Hey Ty.
So I don't say nothing about the app. Oh well. Is there asked in the chat? Is there a way when you do the change orders, when you email that to the client, it goes directly to the proposal template email? So it says proposal, not change order in the email side of things when you go to send it. Is there a template that I'm not knowing you set, or is that just a default only for when you send that change order? That makes sense?
Let me see. I might need you to explain that one more time to me. So
Yeah, if
we
you get
are
like, yeah,
in a proposal.
well, and from the change order from a project.
So I'm in a change order in a project now.
Okay.
Not this view.
Yeah, right there, the send. If you go to send that,
Uh-huh.
it says is share proposal, and I guess you could edit that block every time I have to. It says share the proposal with you instead of
Mm-hmm.
change order.
The subject here.
Well, is there a default template that you can change for the change order?
So what?
I'm just trying to take steps out of the process. Like I got to go retype, from proposal. Here's your change order, and then the text blocks down below. If it's defaulted to the proposal one, it's what it reads. I'm retyping that every time. So I'm asking, is there a template that can be set for the change orders when you go to send it for this
Yeah,
part,
so I just edited my proposal here and I just took change order out and then I just hit this templates icon up in the top right and
right?
then
Save
save
it.
the
Okay.
email template.
Right
Yeah,
under my nose as usual. Okay, thanks.
no problem. And you can also change that back in your settings too. So
Okay.
if you didn't want to go all the way into a project, if you come down to your settings,
Right.
proposal, and then change order email template. So this is my
Okay.
default.
Okay. And then in the sales reports that are now here, um, is it just a general sales reports, or can I see like set a commission base for each sales guy? Like,
Not yet.
and it would be great if you do add that so we can set commissions on a percentage on, products or categories, different ways, like like TVs have lower margins, so
Got you.
we manipulate that. So it'd be nice if we could set sales commissions based on products and or the categories, the percentage.
Okay.
Yeah, and then be able to get a report so it's easy to pay the sales guys based on those reports.
Got you. I'm thinking that's going to be another part of job costing,
Yeah.
but understood. Mhm.
Okay. Cool. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Working on the app, working on it,
Yeah,
working
yeah.
on it.
Blah blah blah. My wife says blah blah blah. It's all over here. Okay. Y'all have a good one. Thanks.
You too.
Thanks, Ty. All right, Tom.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
So I had a question on like allowance calculations. Is there a way to omit certain categories from the calculation? For instance, if I want to do a labor percentage on a project, but I want to not have a $500,000 video wall be attributed to that calculation. Is there any fine tuning of what those percentages pull from, either labor or materials?
No, Yeah, it's on the total product or total labor amount in the quote today. But definitely something to think about. Trying to think of how we could pull that off. That we might need to think about that a little bit deeper, but not today.
Okay.
Tom, we can come back to you and get some more information on just a little bit more detail from you on that. And then that way we can make sure we relay the request to the product team for maybe a future iteration or a future feature request.
Okay.
So excluding,
Okay.
but excluding certain products, you said categories at first, excluding certain products or excluding certain categories, just so I can.
Any way to make it work.
Okay.
You know, we calculate sometimes certain labor percentages, you know, maybe we don't include freight, right? Or maybe we don't include some other allowance or something in there, right? In order to not skew that monthly percentage, kind of like a mix between service plan and actually pricing and allowance. I don't know if
Okay.
service plans have that ability. I don't think they do.
Yeah, I don't think that's anywhere in the software today, but noted, just excluding some of those costs.
Okay.
Understood. That's a good one. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, Kurt, come back to you. You may need to unmute or hold on, I may have actually muted you. There we go. Try again.
Alrighty.
Sorry,
Alrighty.
that was my fault.
No problem. On that allowances question, we do a similar thing with, you know, a percentage of the project is project management, which is labor. It shows up as labor, but when we win the project, there's no way right now to assign project management to the actual you know, project for time, because it doesn't have a time in it, it just has a dollar value. Is there something that we're doing wrong, or is it something that it's just not reverse calculating to get, okay, you have, you know, $600 is, you know, X amount of time, or
Yep. So if you're going to use allowances, that is going to be a limitation when scheduling and time tracking.
okay.
Are you opposed to using labor types for project management? That way you can tie time to it. Why are you using allowances for project management, I guess?
The only one that we use allowances for is project management, only because otherwise we would have to go into every conceivable, you know, product and add project management to each product, unless there's a way that is easier to do that than, you know, what we're doing now.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, so why not add, which one do I want to pick on here? How would you feel about just adding a project management labor line item and then kind of just burying it, right? We can turn off the labor line item in the proposal. We'll create a labor type. I can name this project management. Okay, here, so I know it's yours. And then we'll pop in an hourly cost, like give me a number.
Yeah, okay. I get what you're going, right? So
Right.
like 50, 60, whatever.
Yeah, you said 360?
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay, actually, put that in the price. You don't need a cost right now. Taxable. And then you can just create it as a labor type here. right? And then add this to your quote, or add this and then just bury this in your proposal, right? In the bill of materials so you don't see it
Okay.
here, but then at least you can track time against that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can always just mark this up 1200, and again, they don't need to see the actual time, but yeah, I would use a labor type instead of an allowance.
Okay, so an actual line item in the quote versus the allowance in the quote.
Right, or a labor type, right? They're both in the quote, but a labor type instead of an allowance.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And then yeah, try that out and then let me know
Okay.
how you feel about it.
Okay. All right. Will do. Thanks.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Ty, let's come back to you. It looks like you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had one more question on the change.
No worries.
Is there, like, you can manipulate the proposals and how they're presented, but you can't manipulate the change orders, like unit price, total quantities, because like some of our proposals, they don't see pricing; they see a bottom line number.
Mhm.
So I would like to keep that consistent in a change order. It shows, 2 less of this and 2 plus of these, and it's just a bottom number is the total change order. Same thing with the labor. The labor showing up in it as well, but you can't click on it and edit it on my screen. You do it on yours.
So what is the you're in the change order right now?
In the project.
What's the status of it? Is it in progress? Is it draft? Is it presented? Is
Yeah, it's accepted. So that's never mind.
That's probably, yeah.
I gotta quit playing with ones I've already sent. My bad.
No problem. Yeah. So before you share them, and before they're accepted, just hover over the location
Okay,
section
got
or
you,
your
got you.
product section. Yeah, and then just edit, and you'll
Yeah,
get the same. Yeah.
You're having them too late. My brain's already gone for the day. So.
It's okay.
Hopefully somebody else learned something from that too. So, all right, thanks y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, bye bye.
Thanks, Ty. Looks like we've got just a couple of more minutes. Any final questions? Thoughts, feedback?
It's really good feedback tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. If you do think of anything that that we didn't cover tonight, or if something comes up that you didn't think to ask or didn't want to ask, please feel free to email us. We're here and happy to help however we can. Yeah, we just appreciate you guys joining and being a part of this every month. It's super helpful for us as well to get your feedback and your thoughts.
Absolutely. And we're always down in intercom chat too, bottom right corner. If you guys need any assistance with anything, just holler. We're more than happy to help.
Looks like we got one more question, Leanne, if that's okay. We got one more. Okay. All right. James.
How you doing?
Good.
So
How are
my
you?
question is, I'm new to D2s and I'm just starting to use the packages after today. So if you have different packages selected, can you different packages built, can you use more than one package when you create a proposal?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. Just search for them and add them to your quotes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, you should be able to find all of your packages here and just add as many as you need.
All right. Awesome. It looks like we're gonna answer one more. Tom, come back to you. Oh, sorry, I disabled your mic. That's on me.
Sweet, got in just before the finish line. Thanks. This has to do with the presentation formatting for the multimedia presentation. I haven't found a way to adjust what the very first page looks like and how it's laid out. like where the address falls, is there an easy fix for that? Is it when it shows up like on a PDF?
Oh, I was just
Um,
about to ask on the PDF.
yeah.
It is pretty locked down today. So if you hit this little arrow here to download, there's an edit proposal PDF section here,
Mhm.
but it's kind of light, right? It's really just the page footers, page break types. Yeah,
And
there's
if you
no
go
real
in,
way to, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. And if you go into like create a proposal template, that's where you kind of have the most flexibility, but
Yep, in this view.
no, like it's the proposal templates in the settings. Like if you want to create a brand new one, you can kind of
Okay.
select.
Um, I feel like you get more out of of editing a proposal template in an actual opportunity because you can get
Okay,
to see the actual data, right? When you're editing it in your settings, it's kind of you get some of the same capabilities, but you can't really see your unit pricing broken down, right? Or if you wanted to separate your labor total from the group total here, you can't really see that because there's no parts or labor
sure.
there. So I always recommend or suggest editing a proposal template in an actual opportunity or quote, and then just saving it up here at the top. Just find this templates icon, save the template, and this will automatically save it to your settings as well.
Got it. So in a PDF, if you were to export this to a PDF, does it look like the very first part where the logo and the address and the image, and does it
It's
look exactly like that?
it's a little different.
Okay.
Let's look at it. It's more there's more of a cover page. Um, yeah, so it looks like this. And you can't move things around here. So you get the cover page with that header
Okay.
image, clients, company information, and then I
So
have my page breaks on, so it's breaking out my different sections here.
okay. So feature request to be able to move that stuff, put the logo at the bottom, or do whatever we want to do.
Move this over, yeah, already
Okay.
written up. We'll just see where we're at with that
All good.
regard.
Thanks. No, I just
Oh,
wanted to know if
designer.
there was a way. Well, I had you.
Good question though. Not today, not yet.
Thank you, Tom.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Um, okay. It looks like, James, I'm not sure if you still have your hand raised with another question or if that's just raised. Okay, there. All right. That looks like that is it for tonight then. Like I said, if you guys have any questions that come up or if you need anything, please feel free to reach out to us. Leanne, if you want to wrap it up, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining. As always, it's a pleasure, and then we'll see you next month.
Thanks,
Thanks.
everybody. Good night.
Good night.